It's easier to imagine the life you want than to actually sit down and do the work. I decided to start writing consistently, and I am now realizing that writing is hard, so much harder than I imagined. I'm heading out to find a coffee shop where I can write for an hour or two. I'm hoping that this change of scenery, I'm hoping that the change of scenery is actually going to help me write.
Prochain arrêt, Voie Colombe.
3 minutes away from my destination. It's a new place. I checked online if they allow laptops, and apparently they do, so I'm going to check it out. To be honest, I'm very guilty of romanticizing myself writing in a cozy cafe. And to be fair, a change in scenery does help sometimes, but it does not take away the fact that a lot of writing is just sitting there, thinking, wondering if the line you just wrote sounds rubbish, or not being sure what next to do in the story or whatever it is you're working on. But I'm learning to keep showing up no matter how uncomfortable it might be. Hello, hello. I don't know if I'll call what I had enough. I slept for quite a while, but I don't feel well rested. Mostly because while I was asleep or attempting to sleep, it felt like the short story I was working on earlier today was somewhere in my subconscious. It was as if I was trying to think about where to take the story next. or like imagine what the characters looked like. I am going to spend the rest of the evening working on the short story. I will try to finish it tonight. But before that, I would like to share some thoughts. I think I'm realizing that it is much easier to have written something than to write said thing. Basically, it's easier to just, idealize anything really. It doesn't have to be writing. But when you actually have to sit down and do the work, you realize that the process is not neat. The process is actually boring, and there's absence of like highs. You don't have highs all the time. It's just basic and simple and uncomfortable, at least for me. I'm not having these spikes of, oh my god, I've just written an amazing thing. It's actually like process and process and process, and I have to sit in that, and I have to learn to be okay in sitting in that discomfort to then see what happens at the other end. I'm realizing now that I can spend a whole day trying to write something and end that day having written something, but not necessarily the thing I envisioned in my brain or in my head. But I should count that effort of having sat down to actually attempt to do anything as something. I'm someone who wants things now. I want everything. I'm aware that I'm a very ambitious person, but I don't think I have a lot of patience. And writing, as I'm learning now, requires a whole lot of patience. I guess I'm opening myself up, opening my heart to learn things that do not come naturally to me. I have to be patient. And I have to be okay with discomfort, and I have to be okay with the boring things, and I have to be okay with the repetitive things. I have to be okay with writing a paragraph, reading it, hating it, and starting all over again, or just staring at the screen for an hour without being able to write anything coherent. I'm learning, I am learning, and yeah, I'm going to try to finish this story. Let me read one paragraph from it. Up until that very day, the day that turned their lives inside out, the day they both realized that it would take God himself taking a human form and coming down to earth to cause them to let go of each other.